Welcome to This Week in Missouri Politics Overtime. We're going to pick up with Jane Duker, a former assistant United States attorney, just said the candidate who you support should be in prison. And I was laughing at you. That's where we left off.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I think I agree with the FBI director who said all these prosecutors said that they would go ahead and prosecute.
How selfish of Obama
It is
to trash that guy's reputation.
First of all, a prosecution under that statute has happened one time in the history of this country. Wow. And so he wanted to know, and I agree, you know, where are all these prosecutors for the last 40 years who've never prosecuted one of these cases?
There's one. Tracy McCrary, wasn't it just sad if you're Comey and you just tried that, you took one for the team, you did what you were told, and then he goes out the same day and puts his arm around her and just mocks you and makes you look like a fool?
Yeah, the whole thing, I mean, most of us that are Hillary Clinton supporters wish this would have been taken care of a long time ago. I'm sort of...
Her going to jail?
Well, no, just the process, the legal process, the investigation. I am surprised that it's been allowed to stretch out so long and get so close to the election. Your
colleagues, you must talk to folks still, and I mean, they must be like, Jesus, how do we walk into a courtroom? It'd be awful hard to walk into the one in Cape Girardeau. We have a bunch of SEMO hillbillies after that thing and then try to convince me I'm from the government and trust me. It's got to be tough.
Yeah, I do know personally that the morale of many in the Department of Justice is, you know, beaten down at this point because, again, there are, you know, political decisions that appear to have been made. And, you know, I reference what I just read this morning about the unprecedented confidentiality agreements that the FBI agents that were investigating Hillary were forced to sign. And it just leaves you with the impression that the fix was in from the beginning, and I don't think that's really good for the direction of our country and the justice system.
I want to pivot real quick. I was driving in and listening on KMOX. I heard Kurt Schaefer, 100% United for Missouri. Give me the prediction on who wins that race.
You know, that race is a lot different than I thought it was going to be. Be quite honest, I thought Kurt would be out and take the lead on that.
I didn't know that many folks in Washington wanted to spend money here. By God, we could do I-70.
It is. So I think it's
the Holly money, my God.
I would have in the beginning said it was Kurt's to lose, but I think it's a pretty close toss-up at this point.
Oh, nasty. You wonder how, I guess if you wondered how big a check folks in Washington had to write to buy a race in Missouri, Josh Hawley may have the answer for them. How big, when you go to vote, how big is a person that's been a prosecutor when you're voting for the Attorney General? How big is that? How important is that?
It's an important factor. I mean, it's certainly something that you would hope that the Attorney General, the next Attorney General, I hope will actually take the reins of Missouri's law enforcement efforts rather than the current Attorney General.
Jason McCreary, I think you're the best. You're the best person. We disagree on a lot of politics. Could you see the Republican Party giving the AG's office over to the University of Missouri?
No. I cannot see
it
it
is
happening.
A startling thing. I mean, do you think Jonathan Butler is the assistant deputy attorney general?
Well, first of all, I have to disclose that I'm suing Josh Hawley.
No.
I'm shocking.
I can't believe it.
I have to say that.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
We need one of those breaking news things.
Right. Well, but I better disclose because,
for all those that don't have Twitter.
Right, or Facebook,
a cell phone, or
listen to radio, or
indoor plumbing.
Right, exactly. So, but I do find it frightening that someone who's never really entered in a case, like from a lawyer standpoint, someone who's never entered and tried a case, civil or otherwise, would be making all of the legal decisions for the state of Missouri. That does concern me.
Carl, you're again at the center of we had the candidates for the Senate district to replace Tom Dempsey in St. Charles County, where you live. You're the treasurer for Bill Eigel. Is this did the Eigel movement come from support of him, or was this something that folks saw Ann Zaire and some of the positions she took and wanted to oppose him?
I think it was a little bit of both. People have seen Ann's record. Ann is not a conservative, and the district has become a lot more conservative than it was in the past with Tom or even with Steve Ellman or Chuck Gross there. And so Bill Eigel is the right answer. He's a veteran. He's a business owner, and so he's the right guy.
You're an interesting person because you have Ellman and Gross. I believe Tom Dempsey's father.
Sure.
I would say if I had to bet, I bet Tom. I know where Tom's at. A lot of the folks that built that, when St. Charles has always been a Republican district, and you're part of that, you're thought of as in that St. Charles County hierarchy. You're one of the few that's championed the opposition. Why'd you choose to go that route?
Because I think it's the right thing for St. Charles County. I think it's the right thing for the 23rd district where I live, and I chose not to run because I think Bill Eigel is the best candidate to represent.
And with predictions, does Trump come out of the convention the nominee, and who comes in second in the Missouri Republican primary for governor?
Oh, interesting. Trump will come out the nominee in Cleveland, and second will be Catherine Hanaway.
Second. Jane, does Trump come out the winner?
Yes.
Your piñata holds its value?
Well, yeah. I'm going to have a party with that.
Who comes in second?
Peter.
Peter. Who comes in second?
Eric Greitens.
Trump. Does Trump come through?
He does.
Does Trump's new AG charge her with a crime?
I don't think that he does. Or she does, I should say.
Trump does Trump come out of the convention a little better than 50%?
I think that the chances are that he does. I hope he doesn't, but I think that he does.
Who comes in second?
I would agree Greitens probably does.
Well, Carl Bearden, the man at the center of everything right now. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Federal prosecutor that made me look good against Jane. I appreciate it. Jane Dugan-Tracy, thank you for joining us here and staying overtime with us. And we'll see you next Sunday on This Week in Missouri Politics.